Okay, everybody, we are ready to look at the SpecialCam. So as we look at this part, you're going to notice that there's a line of symmetry here where the top part of this cutout is going to be a mirror image of the bottom part of the cutout, and we are going to use the mirror key for that. Additionally, we're going to be showing you the ellipse command here and pulling out a pentagon, from our palette, which has some polygon shapes on it. So we'll see how we can use that as well. A couple things about this. Number one, this reference dimension, when I created it and I created here in the demo, we are not going to have that as a reference. It's going to be a regular dimension. Okay. And then additionally, you're going to notice that they have a reference dimension here, and I'm going to show you that this is constructed from its center being at the very bottom of the ellipse, and then it's going to be tangent to the outside of that radius of 0.5. Okay, so those are just a couple things to keep in mind as we're doing this construction. 3 decimal places, so let's get started. So first things first, we're going to open up Creo, set our working directory. I have mine all set. And then we're going to just double check, make sure that options, Sketcher, 3 decimal places. Okay, that looks good. So we're ready to start new. We're going to do SpecialCam 2. Okay. And then we're going to have to, go in on and extrude so that we can save this as a part that we can re-pull up. So make sure that you do that. We're going to define our sketch plane, which is going to be the front plane and sketch. Okay, we're ready to get going. So ellipse is going to be first. We're going to select underneath here the center and axis ellipse. We're going to select the center. We're going to go horizontal, and then we're going to go vertical. Okay, and it's just 2 clicks. And then we're going to middle mouse button click. And then we're going to change this outside dimension to be 6.5. And the vertical dimension to be 4.25, I think. Now I gotta peek back. 4.25, yeah, 6.5, 4.25 on the outside. Now we're gonna put in the hole, 0.75 diameter and 0.75 from the edge. So we're gonna put a circle along the center, this size, middle mouse button, double click, 0.75, enter. And then our distance is going to come actually from the end of our ellipse to the center. So we're going to have to add a dimension because there's not one there. So click on the outside of that, click in the center, and then middle mouse button down below. And this is going to be 0.75, enter. Okay. And then it gets rid of that other weak dimension. So I'm gonna hit escape to get out of my dimension command so that I can move, select and drag and move my dimensions off of my part just to kind of clean it up there. Okay, the next thing I'm going to add is going to be the 0.75 diameter circle around here. So circle, it's going to share the same center as that 0.75 diameter, but even though this is 0.75 to the end here, do not select that. We're going to actually key it in. So make it either a little smaller or a little bigger. Okay. And then middle mouse button to end, double click on the diameter. And this is going to be a diameter of 1.5 because it has to have a radius of 0.75. And I'm going to change that right away to a radius by left clicking and toggling to the radius dimension. Middle mouse button, make sure we're not selected on anything except select. And I'm just going to, again, put this kind of over here. All right, now we're going to put our 2.62 diameter circle right here. And I'm going to do the circle along this line. So I want it coincident here. And I want it larger. Make sure that you're not grabbing anything. Okay. Make it independent. And then middle mouse button to end it. Double click 2.625. Enter. All right. And then its distance from the center. And it has one here. So we can just double click on this. 1.5. Enter. Okay. Only select is here, so I can grab that dimension and drag it off of the part. Okay, this is looking good. Now we're going to add that 1/2 inch radius up here. We're going to put it in as a circle, and its diameter is going to be on the vertical line here. So I should say its center is. So I'm going to click on that center, and I'm just going to I don't want it equal to anything, independent circle. I don't want to grab anything. So stop in between somewhere there, middle mouse button to end it. And this diameter is going to be 1 inch. And I'm going to left click on it a second time, and I'm going to change it to a radius of 0.5. Middle mouse button. And then it needs to be tangent right here. We're not going to put in a distance here. It needs to be tangent between these two. So I'm going to go up to constraint, click on tangent first, and then I'm going to select one circle and then the other circle, and then they're tangent now. So now they're touching. So that is defined. Then I'm going to add the radius over the top here. That radius of 2 points. Let's look back. That radius of, the radius of 3.642. And it is a reference. We're not going to key in that value. We're going to start it center down here. And then it's going to be tangent to the top of the 0.5 point or 0.5 radius. So we're going to do a circle. The center is going to be down at the intersection here. And we're going to go up, up, up. Now, be careful. Right now, it's grabbing. Do you see over here, this line, this circle? I don't want that. I want it to be on this circle. So zoom, zoom, zoom in and make sure that it grabs that circle where you see the tangent, because it's really close over there on the right. And I'm going to click when it's there. Okay. And then I'm going to middle mouse button to end that command. And notice that that tangent shows up. That's perfect. That's what I want. Now, when I'm here, I'm going to get rid of a couple segments. I'm going to delete the segment in between here because I want to save this part. And I'm going to delete this little one right here. And then I'm going to hit escape. And then we're going to go out. I'm going to zoom everything on here. And I just am going to select this radius right here as a whole and just hit the delete key on my keyboard to get rid of the rest of it. Otherwise, I've got to do it segment by segment and go around. And this is just easier. Okay, so I have this radius in place. I'm going to grab now this, and I'm going to put a fillet between there at 0.375. Okay, so I'm gonna put in the fillet command at the top. Click on it. I'm going to select the arc, select the diameter, and it's going to put in a random value for me. Hit the escape key to get out of the fillet command. And now I have the opportunity to double click this and put in 0.375. Enter. And then I'm going to move it so it's kind of away. So it will not be a reference dimension. Okay, that's okay. Then I'm going to get rid of the inside of this circle that I don't need. Delete segment, go over the top, and I am good. Okay. Oh, and then the other little parts that I need to delete are right here. So let's delete segment here and here. Okay. All right. I don't know why. I think it's because it's a full circle. It doesn't trim that away. So we have to do it manually. Okay. All right. So I'm going to shift and hold my right mouse button to pan this down. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select these 3 items to mirror. So I have to do that selection before mirror is going to be available to me. So I'm going to first select left click on my radius. Undo. Thank goodness for the undo. Make sure you're not in delete segment anymore. Hit your escape key. And now we're going to retry that again. We're going to select that radius. Okay. Then we're going to depress and hold the control key. And then I'm going to click and click so that I have those 3 items. And now notice that I can mirror this. I'm going to click the mirror, and then I'm going to go to the center line, and then it's going to mirror that over that center line. Okay. Hit the escape key just to be sure you're not in anything and to unselect what was there. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to trim away the part of the circle that we don't want anymore. So we're going to delete segment, get rid of this, and get rid of that. Okay. All right. Now, I'm not sure. Oh, here's this radius right here. I do not know why this is here, but we're just going to kind of go with it for a little while and see what happens. That's new development, but that's okay. Now we have this portion in place. Everything looks good from my end, but we now need to add in that pentagon. So we're going to go up to this palette. All right. Bring up to the palette, and we're going to select on the polygons tab. We're going to click, hold and depress the 5-sided pentagon. And we're just going to put it over like on the side and release. That's it. Okay. And then I can close this pentagon, and it has information up here, and we're just going to hit OK. All right. OK. And now you'll notice that it has the pentagon here, and it has some, some random dimensions. So I'm just going to pull this down, double click it, and this is going to be 1 inch. That's it. Okay. And now I want to make the center of my pentagon coincident with the center of the larger circle. So I'm going to go up to the constraint of coincident, and I'm going to click on the center of my pentagon and the center of my circle. And now they share the same center and they're concentric. Okay. So I'm going to get this on here. I'm going to move this down and over. Now you'll notice that it doesn't it doesn't fill the right parts with. And if we go over here to our feature requirements, it's having a problem with this. So even though the sketcher shows it the way it's supposed to be, we're gonna put on our reference dimensions as identified. So we're going to put a reference dimension here. Okay. We're going to put the reference dimension for the height from that point to that point, and we're going to stick that right in the middle there. And I'm a little miffed why this is here. So we'll have to look at that in just a bit. Let me see. I want to see if I'm missing a constraint, if it came out of there. So this is equal, tangent, 0.375. And then I just want to be sure that that's coincident yet. Oh, this is not coincident. I think that's why. So if I click on this radius right here, oh, maybe it is. I'm unclear. So if I go to coincident and I say this radius and this hole and constraint equal radii. Let's take that off. Delete. Now it's okay. All right, that equal radii was in there for some odd reason. So that was all that it was. You may or may not get that. I didn't get that on any of my other attempts. So yeah, I think we're okay now. All right, so once we get to this point and you have everything in that you need, this is where you want to do your screen snip. Okay, so we're going to do the Windows Shift S, do our screen snip, and if you do it this way, you're going to want to put this into a document, or if you want to do the app and you want to save it as a file, that's totally fine. Okay, now, before we can do our extrude and save it as a part, we need to trim away this part right here. So for our screen snip, leave it in. Before we do our extrude and hit OK up here, we have to remove that. So I'm going to delete segment right here and right here. And then I'm going to middle mouse button, and now you'll notice that it fills this all in. And when we go to our feature requirements, we are now 2 green check marks, which we need before we exit. Okay, so now this is going to be what we are actually going to extrude, because otherwise it's confused the way that it looks. So we're going to hit OK at this point. It extrudes it. We're going to set our depth to be 0.25, enter, and we're going to hit OK. And now we can do a file save. And here's our working directory. Here's now the part, the SpecialCam part file, and we're going to hit OK, and we are good. And then this way, again, if we need to make any adjustments to this, you're going to expand this out. You're going to select that sketch. You're going to edit the sketch, and now you can edit without having to redo the whole thing. If you don't save this as a part file, you won't be able to pull up that SEC file, and you're gonna have to start over. And I don't want that to happen to you. Okay, so there we are. Hit OK. We're going to save it one more time, and then we're going to do our regular closing out process. Before we close, we're going to go to Manage File, delete old versions. Yes. Got it. And then we're going to close our file. And then before we start anything new, we're going to go to Manage Session, Erase Not Displayed, and hit OK. And now we're ready to start something new. Okay, well, hopefully you found this helpful. And if you have any questions, let me know.